Hello everybody and welcome to the N64 beta project. As always, this is a series where we take a look at the unreleased games, prototypes, tech demos and mods for the N64. Now in the past couple of episodes we've been looking at games which were prototypes. However, I'm going to mix it up today and show you a mod for an N64 game which you can actually play on the real hardware. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at FZero X Climax. Believe it or not, it's been 15 years since FZero X was released on the N64. For long-time viewers of mine, you'll know how much I love the game, and I'd rank it in my top 10 games of all time. There's something exhilarating about the insane speed, the awesome characters, and the sheer depth of the game. One day, I hope to own the N64 DD, so I can get and experience the FZero X expansion kit. However, whilst browsing EmuTalk a few months ago, I spotted something that totally blew my mind. FZero X Climax is a 2013 fan-made mod by Philippe Brodier. Calling this a mod, however, doesn't do it justice. It shines far above anything else on the N64 and is a true labour of love for the series, so let's take a look at the background of the game. Philippe stated that he chose FZero Climax as his inspiration, as it was the last in the series and only released in Japan on the Game Boy Advance. He wanted to respect the original circuits, but at the same time make the N64 version championship friendly and accessible to everyone. He made very large changes such as taking the tracks into 3D and modding the textures in the game. This proved to be a huge challenge for the talented programmer. He states that the mod took him over a year whilst working on it for 6 to 8 hours a day. Some of the textures alone took over an hour each to get to work within the game, and when you consider that there are over 190 compressed files, this shows you just what a huge effort this game took. When Philippe started to create the first custom textures for the game, he noticed parasite colours which were visible when playing the game. Naturally, he wanted to make the game look as awesome as possible, so he worked out how to fix this, and the end result is visually excellent. Don't get me wrong, FZero X was never a beautiful game. However, the new textures really add life to the courses he has created and help bring in the theme for each of the many tracks. One thing that I will mention is that this really isn't a game for newbies to the series. The game is incredibly challenging, but for those of us who have mastered all FZero X has to offer, you will love the new difficulty. Even on the easy mode, which you can see me playing here, I still found myself really challenged by the rival drivers and the really difficult and hard to master courses. This isn't a knock against the game, if anything it's a praise because it adds something new to the game we know and love. So why does this mod personally mean so much to me? Well, many mods are only playable on emulators. Usually they pack in additional music, high-res textures and so on, which means that running them on the original hardware is impossible. Philippe was keen to enable the game to be run on a real console, and with the help of a flash cart such as the EverDrive 64, you're able to do just that once you've patched the file. Call me old-fashioned, but there's something special about playing on a real hardware console, and the fact this feels like an entirely new game is incredible. The game modes that you remember from FZero X are all still there. There's the Championship Cups, which now consist of Bronze, Silver, Gold and Platinum, with extras to unlock. Instead of acceleration versus top speed, you now have a slider versus jumper style. And the multiplayer mode is still alive for some intense 4-player action. The difficulty modes are easy, normal and hard, but for those who like games so punishing and brutal, you really need to check out the insanely difficult Sensei mode, which makes the story mode of FZero GX look like a walk in the park. Philippe's aim was to create a game with elements of Climax and FZero X, and at the same time to create a game which feels completely new, and in that he succeeds. This feels like a sequel to FZero X, and in essence, it is a spiritual successor. Another incredible addition is that the game is also compatible with the N64 DD expansion kit if you use a Japanese patch file. I haven't got around to this as I don't have an N64 DD, but Philippe mentions that there are some great additions when using it. In closing, the game is the same great FZero X that you'll remember, but with beautifully created new tracks and textures to keep even the most die-hard fans happy. It feels like a fully fledged sequel, but doesn't alter what we already love about FZero X. The N64 mod scene isn't as big as it is with some other consoles, but when the quality of work is this high, then I'm happy with quality over quantity. So what do you make of FZero X Climax? Is it the mod you'll now be wanting to try out, or do you think the series is best left on Nintendo's shelf whilst they focus on existing franchises? As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time.